So then later on, a few hours later, we go into the sun and moves into that direct square with Pluto, which, we've experienced with the moon, as the moon has gone through a couple of times now, but this is the first sun square Pluto that we've had with Pluto in Aquarius this year at least. So who wants to tackle this one? This would have been the big one that we would have talked about had the Uranus-Jupiter conjunction not happened earlier that same day. So again, I feel like this day will be astrology good. Squares are of the nature of Mars, so it's something to be overcome. And, with any of the fixed signs, especially Scorpio and Taurus, you're going to have that square. The Leo suns, are having that Pluto opposition. But what thoughts do you got on the Pluto square?
I think it's hard to separate it from like the Uranus Jupiter conjunction just because of the same day. And it's like applying as the sun is reaching that second degree leading up to it. But yeah, I feel like it emphasizes that again. And then it's also like bringing the sun in is bringing in the emphasis of choice and purpose and acting deliberately. And then Pluto with mixing with that is like adding a real depth to it. So like really getting clear on like what is the intention, I guess, and like a really like deep-seated intention as far as that playing into the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. It's kind of that's how I'm seeing it.
Excuse me, I just wanted to say it feels like the Pluto Sun square is a little bit of like a bass drum, and the Jupiter Uranus is like the cymbals, It's like that holding phase with the Pluto square.
Yeah, and the good thing about the Jupiter Uranus conjunction is that one of the rulers of Taurus, the moon, is visible, but with this, both Venus and the moon are not visible. So the traditional rulers of Taurus are Venus for domicile, moon for exaltation. And in this situation, once the moon immediately gets out of Virgo into Libra, the sun is kind of on its own as far as rulership. And so it feels harder just for that, like just to kind of be on your own and have to kind of mature up and deal with whatever thing to be overcome from this Pluto square, because this is going to happen like 19 other times like through the cycle. So it's not a one and done thing. It could just be something that is like you're going to have to deal with head on. And squares with fixed signs always feel harder because fixed is about sustaining light. So they're, fixed signs are proud of holding things in a continuum, and when they have to be redirected, it can be a little more, a little less graceful, and it can be a little messier sometimes. So finding grace in this moment might be key. But again, it's, I like the idea of like that bass drum of just like keeping the beat to go forward and being grounded. Sun in Taurus is a grounded place. It's in Venus's decan and bound, so at least it has kind of has all the tools available that it can without seeing its rulers there. So
yeah, and going back to the decan story, we've got the two tarot cards, both fives. We've got the Five of Swords for Pluto and the Five of Pentacles for the Sun. So that's indicating conflict here over resources and the truth and clarity, issues like that the decan story is bringing in. So again, that comes back to the questions where these decans are looking at those issues of conflict, and it probably is likely to be internal questions that it's bringing up for you. But where does your pull for personal power come from, and where do you shine your brightest light? Does it scare you to shine your brightest light, and why would it scare you? you know, do you make yourself smaller, and for what reasons? So if you were to embrace your greatest power and shine your brightest light, how does that look? And to really, squares are of the nature of Mars, so it can mean cutting away things, but also stepping into our courage. So if you were to like re-examine, okay, what would it look like if I was in my personal power and shining my brightest light? How could that look? And what would I cut away? I mean, it's again that mask and being authentic, and these questions coming up for us with these big transits. But it feels like an evolving story throughout April, that we're being challenged again and again to look at these things.
And challenges fortify things, but I know at least the Five of Coins is called the Lord of Worry. So it's not an easy card. The image is two characters that are kind of wounded on crutches and bandaged outside in the snow of a building, looks like a church. And the lesson of that is, you know, fives are discomfort and something to be overcome. It's like a challenging card anyway, is to be willing to ask for help is like a nice remediation for that card, to recognize that maybe there is sanctuary very close to you, and getting out of your own way to ask for help could be a Pluto square theme, to